footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our NFL Week 5 preview between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the St. Louis Rams. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Jags.
First, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the St. Louis Rams. And for Jacksonville, they want to keep Bradford on the move. I think that's the way they can make him less effective. Keep him on the move, and that way you could have a chance. And you also have to win the special teams battle. When you're a struggling team like Jacksonville, you have to win in every facet of the game, maybe even 2 out of the 3. So you have to definitely win the special teams battle on the road. And you want to isolate those safeties in the passing game. I think that's where they can have some success throwing the football downfield. And for the Rams in this game, I'm a big fan of the misdirection running game. That's your counters, your traps. Those type of plays could work versus an over-aggressive front like Jacksonville, but you have to win at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Right now, I don't think they're winning the individual matchups, and that's what's getting these guys out of position on defense and also not moving the football offensively. And Brian Schottenheimer has to do a better job of calling plays, putting your playmakers in position to where they can be successful, and that's how you can ultimately win this ball game. I do like the Rams in this matchup right now. Jacksonville's offense, I can't trust, although they do get Justin Blackman back, but there are just too many questions right now for Jacksonville for me to feel comfortable picking them on the road. Next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tennessee Titans. And for the Chiefs in this ball game, I would spread the field offensively. That widens out that Titans pressure, and that way Alex Smith can easily diagnose where it's coming from, and then that way he'll be able to be effective throwing the football. I would also stay aggressive versus the Titans wide receivers. They're going to be starting Ryan Fitzpatrick in replace of the injured Jake Locker. You want Fitzpatrick to hold the football a little bit long, so that way the pressure can get to him and put him on the ground. And on offense, I will go with speed on the inside and size on the outside. You have tremendous playmakers that are excellent with their short area quickness, like Dexter McCluster, Donnie Avery, even Jamal Charles. If you want to utilize him in the slot, I think that could have a huge advantage for your offensive attack this week versus Tennessee. And for the Titans in this ball game, it's all about ball security. You can't turn the football over and give Kansas City a short field. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself on the losing end of the scoreboard. Now we'll go with more double tight end sets versus this 3-4 defense. One, it helps you out in pass protection. It also widens out that defense, and it gives you better angles in the running game. So that way, Chris Johnson could probably get a lane and take one to the house. And I would gamble on third down, both on offense as well as on defense. The old saying goes, scared money don't make none, so you have to take chances if you want to knock off an undefeated ball club at your home stadium. I do like Kansas City in this ball game. I think this one will be won by their defense. They match up very well versus Tennessee, so I like the Chiefs to go on the road and knock off the Titans. Let's go out west as the Carolina Panthers take on the Arizona Cardinals. And for the Panthers in this ball game, they're going to have to beat the blitz. The Cardinals do a great job of applying pressure, and if you can't beat the blitz, you won't beat the Cardinals. And on defense, you want to play plenty games up front with your tackles and your ends. Confuse that offensive line of Arizona, and you have a great chance of getting back there to Carson Palmer. And on offense, the wide receivers have to win the one-on-one battles. We know about Arizona's outstanding cornerbacks, receivers like Ted Ginn, Steve Smith, those guys, LaFell, have to win those battles in order for that offense to really take flight. And for the Cardinals, you want to force the issue with the running game. We know Carolina does a great job with their defensive front, but you have to stay committed to running the football in order to give yourself time on your play action passes. And when you're facing a guy like Cam Newton, we talked about this every week, here's a guy that can get outside the pocket, so your pressure has to come from within. That A-gap and B-gap pressure is paramount this week versus Carolina. And the inside linebackers versus the Panthers running game that does a great job of running off tackle with those power plays. They move their guards, so those inside linebackers will have to step up in those gaps and make those plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. I like Carolina in this ballgame. I think their defensive line and the way they're moving the football offensively, quietly, they're consistent, and if they can capitalize in the red zone, they'll come away with a lot of points. But I do think their defense, once again, will be the reason why they keep this game close, and Cam Newton will make plays late. So I like the Panthers to go on the road and knock off Arizona. Big battle in the Big D as the Broncos travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And we look at Denver in this ball game. Number one, defensively, you want to make this matchup Romo versus Manning. So you want to take away the running game of the Cowboys and force Romo to throw the football 35, 40 times this game. That's a win for the Broncos. And you also want to flood the zone versus that Cowboys cover 2 defense. Flood those zones, take advantage of those matchups, and I think they can have some success moving the football. And you want to get a hand on Jason Witten each and every down. Don't allow him free release off the line of scrimmage. And for the Cowboys in the secondary, I would stay impressed. 2 things that's going to accomplish. Number 1 is going to slow down the timing of the Peyton Manning offense. And 2 is going to give your defensive line time to get back there to put him on the ground. And the Cowboys do trust their personnel in the secondary at the cornerback position as well as at the safety position. You also want to get multiple in your personnel on offense. I think they can go with double tight end sets, spread the field, running the football out of single back, even putting the tight end in the flex position and using him as a wham blocker. So get multiple in your personnel on offense. And you also have to have near flawless execution when you're going against a team that executes flawlessly. I like the Cowboys in this ball game. This is a team that has the personnel to give the Broncos problems both offensively and defensively. On offense, they have the weapons in place with Dez Bryant, Jason Witten, and also a guy like Tony Romo that can break, contain, and make plays on the move, as well as DeMarco Murray in the backfield. And on defense, you have to like what they have in the secondary. They can match up one-on-one. So I think this is a bad matchup for the Broncos, which is why I'm going with the Cowboys at home. Two Titans battle each other as the Texans take on the 49ers, and for Houston in this ballgame, it's imperative that Matt Schaub gets into a groove very early in this ballgame. When he's on this game, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and he has to maintain that level of play for 4 quarters. And on defense, I would banjo cover the tight end Vernon Davis. That's 2 guys covering him until a back threatens the other outside linebacker's zone. That way, you'll effectively take away the middle of the field with one of their best targets. And on offense, I would go with heavy inside zone versus that 49ers 3-4 defense. Keep it inside. I think Arian Foster does a great job of seeing the hole and accelerating downfield. And for the 49ers in this ballgame, Colin Kaepernick has to utilize his athleticism to the offense's advantage. A lot of times you see a guy with this type of athleticism try to prove a point in the pocket. Don't hesitate to take off if nothing is open downfield. And up front, I think they have the advantage versus the Houston Texans defensive line. This is going to be a great battle. So I will go with Bob blocking. That's big on big, body on body, that power game, that inside power, your belly plays. Those are type of plays that can work versus the Texans when you have the personnel up front like the 49ers do. And on defense, the backside defender must stay alert for the naked bootleg. Otherwise, the Texans will gas you with that play throughout the course of the game. I like the 49ers in this ball game. They have the quintessential X factor, which is the mobile quarterback. So that balances the field. It makes it 11 on 11, and it's going to open up an opportunity for someone to be one-on-one in coverage. So I like San Fran's ability to apply pressure with their quarterback, Colin Kaepernick. So I'll take the 49ers at home versus Houston. Pivotal game in the AFC West between the Chargers and the Raiders. And for San Diego in this game, offensively, I would attack the nickel and the safeties in the passing game. I think that's where they have the advantage. Attack the interior of that Raiders defense via the pass. I think they can have some big plays downfield. And I would roll coverage toward Denarius Moore, take away their number 1 option, force those other wide receivers to make plays consistently. And I would also run the football off tackle. I think they can get the edge in a running game versus that Raiders front 4. And for the Raiders in this ballgame, I would stay traditional with Terrell Pryor. You don't have to get creative in your play calling. You don't have to get cute in how you utilize his athleticism. Allow that same athleticism to take over when the play breaks down. That's how you truly develop your offense, by running your traditional plays with the guy that has the mobility of Terrell Pryor. And Jacoby Ford in the running game, they got to find a creative way to get him the football on end of rounds, maybe those quick traps off the motions, off those jet sweep motions. I think that's how they can have some success in generating big plays out of the backfield. And the defensive backs must locate the football when you're going against a team like the San Diego Chargers that love to put the ball up in the air. Phillip Rivers will give you 1 or 2 opportunities per game to come away with an interception, so you have to convert and help your defense out. I like the Chargers in this ball game. Offensively, they're playing at a higher level. When we look at their defense, yes, they give up big plays, but they're playing fast. They cause disruption, and that right there could be enough to derail what Oakland wants to do offensively. Finally, on Monday night, we have the New York Jets traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. And for the Jets, it's simple. Number 1, don't beat yourself. You can't win ball games if you're beating yourself. You're playing 2 opponents on Sunday. Now, the cornerbacks can take chances versus Matt Ryan, especially when you apply pressure. Here's a guy that tends to sail passes, float passes, throw a little bit inaccurate when he's pressured, so the cornerbacks can take chances and jump some routes. And you also want to bait those Falcon defensive backs. They're young, they're aggressive, they're scrappy, they're talented. They do take chances, so you can call some double moves, take advantage of their over aggressiveness, and perhaps hit big plays deep down the field. The Falcons in this game, you want to maximize your opportunities. That didn't happen last week versus New England. They actually had chances to win that ball game very early and very late, so you have to maximize those opportunities. And it also ties into my second point. Quit the conservative approach on offense and on defense. Get aggressive at times. It will make you a much better football team moving forward. You have to have those blitz beaters in place when you're playing a team like the New York Jets that wants to apply pressure first down, second down, as well as third down. Have to have those ready to go in order to knock off this football team. I like the Falcons in this ballgame. I think they'll do a great job of bouncing back from the Patriots' loss. They have way too many weapons offensively. They'll be able to put up points, although they'll come at a premium. But the Jets right now can't threaten you offensively, especially vertically down the field. So I like the Falcons to take care of business versus the Jets.